The horrors of Gooner social media.
Thousands, a strange trend in the world of coffee will begin to emerge. Bikini baristas. The concept is simple. Start a cafe that's only staffed by attractive young women wearing bikinis. It seems many men were willing to pay a premium on their coffee just to get a chance to ogle a scantily clad woman for a few seconds. So many were, in fact, that normal cafes in Seattle will begin to advertise themselves as family-friendly in the 2010s due to the sheer volume of bikini barista coffee shops flooding the area. These espresso gone wild joints tend to be very small and are usually staffed by just one or two girls. As a result, they usually exist in the form of drive-thrus to keep some sort of separation between the employees and the customers to keep things a little safer. Despite that, the seedy crowd these spots tend to draw in have resulted in many controversies and crimes occurring over the years, with everything from prostitution to kidnapping being reported due to these strange strip coffee shops. The most infamous bikini barista incident, however, happened in January 2025.
Hi, how are you? Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Call 911.
In Tempe, Arizona, a man will pull up to the drive-thru window of Bikini Beans Coffee with his
A lot just happened in the first fucking 1 minute and 30 seconds of this video. A lot. And I just have questions, right? Because I've seen that, like, if you're chronically online, as if I'm chronically online, you've seen that video before. The guy ultimately ends up, I don't know if I'm spoiling it, but fuck it. The guy ultimately ends up taking his own life after he got exposed because that video went viral on Twitter, then it went to Instagram, then it went to every fucking social media possible that has people on it. That's where that video was. So my whole thing is just like this business structure, right? Because it's been known for some time now that like the booby bars and the booby restaurants, like, they're going out of business. Niggas don't rock with Hooters. Niggas are not rocking with that style of I don't even, not entertainment, but, like, you know what I'm saying, that restaurant style, that theme. So when they're making these bikini bars and bikini, like, they know who their target audience is. But my whole thing is just like that whole business structure is just, to me, it's just like, one, I'm not even a coffee drinker, so just because you put titties behind the coffee, it's not gonna incentivize me to buy more coffee. It's just not. But I do understand that there's some men who they don't see nothing like, I don't know how they don't, because that shit is free all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of men who don't see this stuff in real life, or they've never seen it, or they don't see it often. So in order to get some sort of rocks off, to get some sort of sensation going down there, they're going to these bikini baristas, these semi half naked fucking coffee shops and getting y'all niggas don't even drink coffee for real. Y'all don't even drink coffee for real. So why are we just creating horny establishments that ultimately could lead to possibilities like this? That's where my brain went. It's just like you're aiding weirdos. You're giving weirdos a place to commemorate. Hopefully I said that right, but you're giving weirdos a place to, you know what I'm saying? If I'm down on my luck and I need to see some ass or some titties, I could go get some coffee. You're creating outlets for weirdness. Why are we doing that?
pants around his ankles, gripping his pickle as he gave a sultry smile to the barista before he realized he was being filmed. As that revelation dawned on him, he immediately drove away, but the damage was already done. The employee would post a video online where it would spread like wildfire. People would track this guy down. His name was Nautica Malone. He was 27 years old, married, and had 2 kids. This is possibly the most embarrassing thing that could happen to somebody, and it was completely self-inflicted too. Nautica unfortunately didn't deal with the incredibly public shaming he was being barraged with all too well. Just 3 days later,
I don't think he dealt with it at all because he took his own life like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't advertise you doing that, but at the same time, brother, just live with the shame. That's all you gotta. If you gotta think about it, if you're bold enough to be in a drive-through line with your hand on your meat, while fake ordering a coffee with the biggest smile on your face, you gotta be man enough to eat what lives online. What you're like, this is what you chose to do. You got caught doing it. You gotta live with that. Especially you got a wife, you got kids, like you got family, you got people, you know what I'm saying, that depend on you, people that rely on you, people that love you. Ultimately, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure him and his wife would still be together, but she would still, I know she would still have some love for you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all brought a child into this world together. That's something that you could never replace, something you could never take away. But you ultimately decided to take yourself out the game because you got caught doing some nefarious bullshit. It's just like, it's a little weird.
He would drive 27 miles to the nearby town of Goodyear, park in an empty parking lot, turn off the car, take out his gun, and pull the trigger. Despite the tragic nature of this event, social media would still continue to extract lulls from this situation. They would deem this a goonicide, and a bunch of young men would hold a candlelight vigil, which they would call a gooneral. Attendees would jokingly refer to Nautica as their goon lord, holding him in some sort of post-ironic position of respect. In fact, anytime Nautica and his demise were being referred,
this generation takes nothing serious. Like it just, there's no other way to phrase that. We literally, as a society right now, like when the young adults, us Gen Zers, become the elders, I'm afraid of what the country's gonna look like. I'm afraid that when we're in serious situations with niggas across the water, we're not gonna take it serious. Either somebody's gonna end up bombed. I'm telling you, genuinely, somebody's gonna end up bombed because we don't take nothing serious as a young people, and ultimately this life is making it hard for you to take anything serious, if we're being honest. Like, a lot of this shit just be trolls, a lot of it.
To online, the word goon was almost always attached somewhere. We don't actually know if Malone had been a gooner or not, which might be surprising for some of you to hear. After all, he was caught pleasuring himself at a drive-thru. How could he not be a gooner? You see, the death of Nautica Malone marked a sort of critical mass adoption of the word gooning as a sort of lighthearted way to refer to the act of masturbation. YouTubers would make videos talking about gooning crimes, and streamers who have been caught gooning on camera. But what's been lost in the sauce here is what the word gooning actually means. You see, gooning does refer to pleasuring oneself, but it's not quite that simple. I'll put it like this. Just simply yanking your chain is kind of like a movie. You have rising action, then a climax, and then it's done. Gooning, on the other hand, is more like a soap opera. There is no climax, and it never ends. You might be thinking that this sounds like edging, and that's true, but gooning is still much more than that. Gooning is a community, a lifestyle, a sexuality, a drug-like high brought on by flooding your brain with dopamine in the most extreme way possible.
Who fucking popularized that term? I've always hated it when, I don't even remember when it became the main word that replaced it, masturbation. I didn't know we needed a separate word from masturbation other than that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. Now niggas want to call it gooning. I remember when goons were the niggas that Batman used to fuck up on a daily basis for no reason. That's what goons were. Or goons were bad guys in movies. How do we take bad guys from movies and make that the new name for tugging on your chicken or tugging on your pickle? How did we replace that? When did we come to a group agreement? Because I don't remember voting for that. I don't. We just gave something a new term, and then that just allows people to glamorize it. Allows people to say, oh, this is this funny connotation. Oh, he's just gooning. That's weird. It's weird.
It's the final destination of man's relationship with the internet and technology, and it's already had some pretty horrible consequences on many people, not just Nautica Malone. Around this time last year, I made a long video detailing the truly vile story of Viper the Rapper, and in it, I said that was the most degenerate thing I had ever covered. In some ways, that's still true. We're not going to be talking about horrible crimes today, but in another sense, we're moving the bar much, much lower. If you've ever wanted to feel disgusted and scared about the state of the world, for some reason, you're watching the right video. I won't ramble on too much longer, let's just get into it. And, oh yeah, if you don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you follow me on Twitter if you use that platform. I'm trying to build a presence there just in case I ever need to get in touch with YouTube support. Just makes me feel better about covering more risque topics like this one. If you're willing to, it's linked in the description, and I would be eternally grateful for the support. Thank you.
Hey Cole, it's your old pal Farrell. Say,
I've been thinking about you a lot recently, and I decided to Google your name, and well, I found some concerning stuff. Take a look at that. Isn't that your address?
What?
If you look down there, it's illegal in America too.
I ain't gonna lie.
But these
This nigga almost got me. He almost did.
companies make it as navigators. If it does, insurance service.com/information is be founded on Reddit. It was called Argooned, and it featured a bit of a different take on not safe for work media. For all of history before the creation of this Reddit community, X-rated material was mostly focused on creating some sort of fantasy for the viewer to insert themselves into. From ancient Greek pottery art to modern day OnlyFans content, the whole idea behind viewing this sort of thing is to imagine yourself as taking part in the activity that's being depicted in front of you. Argooned managed to break this incredibly long-standing pattern in a strange way. Instead of imagining yourself being intimate with the people on screen, the content on this subreddit would instead focus around the act of viewing pornography itself. Users would edit short clips of adult content with captions that give the viewer instructions on what to do as they're watching the video. They would also sometimes ask users to worship the actress being shown on screen like a god, and most commonly of all, they almost always talk about melting your brain and reaching something called a goon state. You might remember a few minutes ago when I said the difference between gooning and normal self-pleasure is the fact that gooning doesn't stop. Supposedly, if you do this for enough time, you'll reach something called a goon state, a euphoric, mindless, dopamine rush-aided.
I'm quite new to, I'm assuming you said Gooning, and I, for 3 hours total yesterday. 3 hours. How do you do that for 3 hours? Like you didn't get interrupted. How does one get 3 hours of uninterrupted goon time? How you don't have responsibilities, you didn't get hungry, you didn't get thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't get dehydrated, niggas don't have parents, niggas don't have roommates, niggas don't have nothing to just do during the daytime that they could just dedicate 3 straight hours of tugging on meat? Come on, dude.
Flow state. This is apparently so powerful it feels like being on drugs, and it's the ultimate goal of gooning for hours on end. Speaking of illicit substances, they seem to be a common topic in the gooning community, with the sex on drugs subreddit being taken over by gooners looking for mind-altering elixirs to enhance their viewing experiences. The most common suggestions here seem to be cannabis, alkyl nitrates, Viagra, and crystal meth. Redditors on Argooned will write about how these drugs help break their brain and make them stupid, in turn helping them achieve the very sought-after goon state. In mid-2025, a journalist known as Daniel Collitz wrote a fantastic long-form article about gooning culture for Harper's Magazine, which is really the only serious literature on this subject you can find right now. He didn't just investigate these communities, he interviewed a few prominent gooners and ran a survey to quantify some of the finer details surrounding the act of gooning. One of the facts he learned from this survey was how long the average gooner gooned for, which was about 2 to 3 hours daily. Although a few times a month, your everyday normal gooner will typically have a marathon session that could potentially last up to 12 hours. Those marathon sessions are typically done in search of that so-called goon state. When people view adult media in a conventional way, they're always aware that they're replacing the real thing with an artificial substitute. It's by design not intended to replace the real thing or be your end goal of human intimacy.
This nigga playing like a fucking Family Guy parody in the background. like my brain just slowly started piecing that together. Like I'm watching the video. Like when I watch these videos, I'm mainly listening, but I'm also like I'm obviously looking, but I'm like really just deep in thought of what I'm hearing. I'm trying to interpret it the best way I can, but then flashes of my vision is just like I'm seeing fucking real life Family Guy characters. I peep Quagmire in the door, do the little gig. Like, what the fuck am I watching?
Gooners, though, watching not safe for work media is indeed their end goal. They don't want the real thing. This has some major consequences that greatly shape both the sort of content gooners watch and gooners themselves.
My bad for the double pause, but I don't understand that logic though. The whole thing, right? And I'm going to speak from a man's perspective. When I was young and I was first introduced to, you know what I'm saying, that pornographic material, the only reason why you would really use it is because you were not only learning about the real thing, but you were excited about the real thing. And if you weren't doing the real thing, the only thing to substitute the real thing was to masturbate. Ultimately, I've never not once looked at that as just like as the official replacement. Like, I don't never want to touch a woman. I don't ever want to look at a woman. I'm super satisfied with just touching myself. Like, how crazy does that sound? That sounds crazy. So the fact that maybe that's how you reach goon state. You just gotta accept the fact that you're a loser. Accept the fact that you'll never get to experience the true touches of a real woman. Maybe that's what it is. Like, once you accept that fact about yourself, once you accept that you'll never just get no play in this lifetime, and you're fully dedicated to, maybe you start giving yourself elite rubs. Maybe you just start giving yourself the most elite tugs, because that's your only form of physical touch. It's going to come from yourself. So you're going to start doing yourself the best way that you can. Maybe that's how you reach true goon state. Maybe.
For one thing, without empathizing in some way with the performers on screen, the gooner is instead reduced to always being an outside observer. This, without fail, always seems to invite humiliation as a component in gooning content.
Like, humiliation is like a humiliation kink. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of men, they have this humiliation kink where they like the feeling of being rejected by women, especially in that way. You know what I'm saying? They like being like, you'll never have me. You'll never get to be inside of me. Like, they like being told those is that words of affirmation? Would you say that? Those negative words of affirmation, those words of denial. I think that's those words of denial. That's what they like. They like hearing that you'll never be able to enter this vag. This video is crazy.
The captions very often mock the viewer, calling them a beta male or a sissy, asking them to burn all their money on OnlyFans subscriptions, and telling them they're not allowed to stop gooning. The second major implication of becoming a gooner and having your end goal of human intimacy be watching visual content is that you just sort of tap out of the dating pool and become voluntarily celibate. The gooner doesn't seek a partner, they only seek adult media. As such, many gooners don't even identify as homo or heterosexual. They instead describe themselves as pornosexual, meaning they're only attracted to not safe for work content and not real people in any way. Now, I'm sure I don't have to convince you that this is impossible, in that to be attracted to smut, you by design have to also be attracted to real people, but in any event, being quote-unquote pornosexual is very common in the gooning community. Without the possibility of ever having a partner, gooners instead find companionship in the company of other gooners. While viewing adult media in a conventional manner is almost always a solitary and kind of shameful activity, gooning is instead a communal one, and gooners will openly discuss their activities with one another, which has led to the gooning community becoming one of the largest and most expansive not safe for work communities on the internet.
No, it's still some shame behind that, because these niggas are not gathering in a group place and putting billboards up and saying all gooners meet here. They're not doing that because, one, you're still ashamed. Like, no matter what you try to what you try to say, what you try to think, that type of front that you try to put up to the world, like, this is me. I'm a gooner and I'm proud. Nigga, no, you're not. Because there'll be daily conventions. There'll be are you going to the group goon this evening? Like, they would be things. Like, there are things for people that have kinks, that have whatever freaky shit going on you imagine. There are safe places for them to interact in the public or in the real world. Now, maybe I'm just not tapped in, and I will never be. But I just don't think that they're hosting these group goon offs, these group goon sessions, these group goon collections or collectives of people who just get together and just crank the hog for 3 hours straight until they achieve unnatural bliss. Like, they're just not doing that without at least a fucking tablespoon of salt, of shame within inside themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that you're associated with something like this, I don't see how you would not face any type of shame. I just don't see that.
Gooning has slowly taken over the culture of online pornography over the years, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still 2019, and we have a lot to get through. The idea of fetishizing the act of watching adult media was a novel one. It was something that had never been explored before, and Gooners would be swift to expand on this concept and introduce other novel trends into their newly Christian community of smut, the first of which being Goon Caves. Our Goon Caves was founded only 2 months after Our Gooned, and it once again broke a fourth wall. Instead of sharing not safe for work media directly, users here would instead share photos and videos of themselves viewing not safe for work content. You might have heard of a subreddit called Our Battle Stations where people share photos of their slick high-end gaming computer setups. Our Goon Caves is essentially the CD video store backroom version of this. Users would share with others the great lengths they would go to just to watch adult content, with a heavy emphasis on having multiple screens playing many different films at the same time. Sometimes users would post timelapses
Just frying your dopamine, bro.
showing themselves viewing adult videos for hours on end. Other users would joke about cancelling plans so they can stay home and watch not safe for work movies. This post is probably the most well-known thing to come from this subreddit. It shows us the OP's emergency gooning kit he created, so he can drop everything in Goon no matter where he is. It's complete with a binder of photos, a flashlight, and 2 external drives containing 6 terabytes of adult content. This user shows us a monitor overlay he created so he can play Battlefield while simultaneously watching 16 adult movies at the same time.
That's badass. How can you even aim? Definitely can't when they walk right in front and have been kicked for being AFK when I'm really into the video.
One thing you'll notice on Our Goon Caves is a slightly different focus it has compared to Our Gooned. Many posts here seem to be showing off the gooner much more than the adult media he's enjoying. Commenters seem to compliment the physical features of the gooner more than the performers in the films they're watching. This brings a sort of homoerotic angle into the mix, and believe me, it's way more prevalent than you might think. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, it's still 2019 and I guess that's starting now, eh? The social isolation caused by the pandemic seemed to supercharge the gooning community, growing its ranks by hundreds of thousands. While people were posting eerie pictures of normally busy streets that had suddenly become deserted and free of people, Gooners were also posting photos showing where some of those people had gone and what they were now doing.
I think this is what kicked off like that whole taking social interactions away, keeping people in the house, showing people how good it feels to be alone, how good it feels to not have to be involved in the world. Like it wasn't the perfect system, right? America was never the perfect system, but we had a system where people were like we had this common knowledge of things that are socially acceptable. People know, like I have to go outside at some point in time. I gotta go out into the real world, whether I'm grocery shopping, whether I'm going to the store, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm commuting from point A to point B, going out to the club, bars, etc., going out to dinners. I have to go out into the world. And then when the pandemic happened and they stripped all of that away, and then certain people just realized, like, I don't gotta go out and do shit. Like, I don't gotta go out for really anything. I can order food to me. I can pleasure myself in the house. I can entertain myself in the house. I can talk to my friends from inside my house. I can talk to my family from inside my house. I don't have to leave the comfort of my house for anything. I believe when people were introduced to that, whether it's by force or by purpose, like it don't matter. Once people were introduced to that the concept of I don't have to go out for anything, you get shit like this. 5 hours in. 5 hours of just touching yourself. Like these people genuinely need help. And this goes to show you, if you're a person that battles, like you're on and off, you're battling with stopping masturbation, you're like, just think about it. Give yourself some grace. Like you may be strong 1 week and then you might fail a day, but give yourself grace, because there's niggas who are willingly doing this for hours on end and they don't want to change. They don't want to change. They're accepting the fact that they're going to live their life touching their meat. They don't want anything other than that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they may change. Maybe at one point they get ultra desensitized to that and they actually got to go out and get dopamine in other ways. And I'm scared for what the other ways may look like. But just give yourself some grace, because you could be way worse. You could be like these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like these niggas.